Time for the question of the morning, hot takes or toast. It is the last regular season home game for the Utah Jazz in the 2025-2026 season. Expect another big crowd, and that brings up the question, do the Jazz really have the best fans in the NBA? And Tavita says, well, the arena ain't empty. Chris, the arena's filled every night, even when the team is bad and it's always loud. I would say Jazz fans are some of the most loyal to the team.
No, we didn't say some. We said best.
We've got other people. Clinton, they've hung in there with the Jazz over a long stretch of ineptitude. Very loyal, pretty knowledgeable. I think Portland fans are really good as well. Steven says I'm going with Celtic fans.
Celtic fans, huh?
Boston. Boston, I always think the Knicks and Warriors. I mean, the Warriors have been really good now with Steph Curry, but before they took off, they had 20 years of, I think, one or two playoff berths, and I thought they had a pretty good arena, even when they weren't.
So we're judging
good.
Fandom by arena attendance. Is that it?
Arena attendance, passion. If I've been in it, I don't have as good a sense. There's a bunch of NBA arenas I've never been to, but. Yeah, I mean, it's a little different in in these bigger markets. I mean, there's so many people. I think in the smaller markets, Portland, Seattle doesn't have an NBA team now, but I always thought their fan base was really into it. I don't know. The best? Yeah, I don't think I can prove that. You can argue it. I don't think I can prove it.
Well, because it's not provable, so I know you can't.
Thunder and Spurs, pretty good.
You prove stuff by facts, and this cannot be a factual discussion. But I think that fandom, a fan base, is far more than attendance. I mean, let's call it like it is. In the NBA, it's mostly a bunch of rich white people that have the access to go to the games.
Got to have the money. The ticket prices are pretty high and getting higher.
Yeah. And I had an opportunity to watch a Warrior playoff game. We're supposed to fly out of Oakland, and this is the finals. So we went to San Francisco for a weekend series to watch the Giants. I don't even remember who they were playing. I've done that probably 7-8 times. Take off on a Friday after work, go to at least 2 games, and then come back Sunday night, right? And out of Oakland. And so the one time the flight was delayed 3 hours. So the Giant game is over. Well, what are we going to do? So we drive back over, or actually take depart, and Warriors are playing in the finals because it's in June. And it is maybe a mile south of where they used to play, whatever that other place, changed names a few times, but right there by the A's ballpark. And where the Raiders played and all. And so we go to the local Chili's, and the place was packed. It was so much fun, and it was in largely an African-American neighborhood. And so it was packed with the locals. And we're high-fiving, going crazy. And it was so fun for me to see their passion for the Warriors in the finals. And I don't remember which year they were in, so I don't remember what the series record was. I don't remember the opponent. I just remember being there and talking with these passionate Warrior fans, many of whom probably never don't go or certainly regularly. I never regularly went to any games. It was always a thrill for me if I had an opportunity to go into Madison Square Garden to go to a Knick game, and it was usually because somebody had an extra ticket. Not my parents. I don't ever remember going to a Knick game with my mother. And in fact, I don't even remember going with my father. It was always somebody else. And because those tickets back then, relatively speaking, expensive as they are now. And it was just so cool to be with those fans, to see all their passion. So I extend fan bases go way beyond arena attendance and arena atmosphere.
You could track a bunch of stuff. You could track TV ratings. I'm sure you'd be excited about that. You could track merchandise sales. But in the NBA, I don't know. that you necessarily sell that stuff because of the team, and you sell some of it because of the team, but you sell a lot of it just because of star players, and we see jerseys here from all over the league.
I track passion by heart. I mean, I don't look at numbers.
So the Thunder, do Thunder fans have heart?
I've never been to a Thunder game. I've been to Oklahoma City multiple times for work. I assume, but I don't know. I've lived in 4 NBA cities, and Oklahoma City is not one of them.
One you don't have a tie to yet.
No. So I've lived in 4 states, 5 NBA teams.
LA is really into the Lakers. The Lakers and Dodgers in LA, you can always find people, whatever you're doing. Laker and Dodger fans will always talk about their team. Those two teams are way into it, and they're at the top of the food chain in LA.
Okay.
I mean, you can argue that fan base is, they've won so much. It's not the same as rooting for a team in Utah.
Yeah, but that's not their fault.
No, it's not. But their fan base is way into it.
True. At least when I was there. I go back every year, but I haven't lived there in a long time. But when I was there, it was the coup de grace, and I don't even know what coup de grace means. It was where it's at. Yeah. There's nothing better for me than being assigned to go cover a Laker game at the Forum.
Clint thinks the Jazz fan base is not what it was. They are losing the best fans because this team doesn't even try to win games. Rebuild year. 3 question marks. Probably ought to be 4 since it's been 4 rebuilding years now.
That's just not true. These guys try to win every time they're out there.
The individual players, yes. I think he's referring more to the club when he says the team.
That's not true too. Why are they trying to lose? Why is management trying to lose? Because the system has been set up to get the best players. This is what you have to do. So they are trying to win. That's not true at all. That's the perception, but it's not reality.
That is the long run plan, yes.
Well, long run being next season.
David, some fans are still hibernating. We watch from a distance. As soon as they're good again, we'll show up.
But in order for them to hibernate because they're losing, they have to know that they're losing. So are they really hibernating if you know they're losing? That doesn't make sense either. And
they're alive.
Then they come back.
They're in a cave.
They're following him. They're following him either way. They'll be more excited when they win, but they're still following them because they know they're losing. And if you weren't following them, you would have no idea if they're winning or losing. So you are following them. Because you're hibernating, that means you're following them.
Brian says the Jazz have some solid fans who are all in, but there are a big majority of fence riders who only support when the Jazz win. And they like to make excuses when they lose. They really have no knowledge of things. They just like to ride the wave, and they believe all the smoke being blown their way.
What smoke? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. Unless he doesn't believe this rebuild is going to pay off with anything next year. If he thinks they're going to be bad to mediocre next year.
Okay, but what smoke? Who?
Well, the thought that they'll be really good next year, that would have to be all the smoke. Other than that, I got nothing for you. You know, the only thing that I could say could be smoke now is if you really don't buy into this team isn't going to be good in the next season, 26-27, then that would be smoke. Maybe individual smoke about the upside of some of these younger players.
I know, but who's blowing the smoke? The smoke doesn't just create itself.
Their fellow fans, the media, the club leadership.
I haven't heard anything.
I don't know. He doesn't
club
identify
leadership.
who.
I haven't heard the Angels say anything. And I don't know. Ryan Smith came on before. He hasn't come on much at all this season on our show, maybe other shows. I think there's optimism, yeah. You always have to have optimism. Well, what's the point if you don't have optimism? And they have it. They should have. I mean, they have it every year. We had Ron Smith on a couple years ago on opening night. Aren't you guys excited? Well, yeah, I was excited. Basketball's back, sure. And it turned out to be another lousy season record-wise. I don't think these fans are any more knowledgeable or ignorant than I can only judge on the fan bases where I've lived. And I think these fans, the whole thing has been frustrating because the idea of being a fan is to have your team win. And naturally, when they don't win as much, you're going to check out of the literal day-to-day. But your fandom overall is still there. You're not going to be as involved, like, oh, I've got to watch this game tonight because they're playing this team and it could have this impact on the standings. So that's not there because there's nothing to be there this year from that perspective. So the day-to-day stuff is going to waver, but those same fans, when they traded for Jaren Jackson, they were all over it. And when we get to May 10th and lottery order, they're going to be all over it. And then obviously the draft in June, and then any subsequent moves. So the day-to-day is following the team. There might be a lot of folks who on a Friday night, this very day, that if it were back into a playoff team type of thing, would be more into it. And tonight, Friday night, maybe you got other stuff to do, you're not going to be into it. But that doesn't mean you still don't have the desire to follow the team. You're just not going to be involved day to day, because what's the point day to day? There's going to be 3 or 4 guys who are going to score 15 to 20 to 25 points, and then Will Hardy has to say, player XYZ played well, and we passed the ball, and I was proud of their effort. Goodbye, good night.
Yeah.
And he only has to do that one more time. And then after the Laker game, then he can present a bigger picture. And we're not going to be talking about any of these guys. We're going to be talking about next season and Jaren Jackson coming back healthy and so forth. We all know the storylines. And at that point, yeah, it'll be really intriguing when we get to next season. And I don't know that they're going to win. I hope they're going to win, but I know they're going to try to win, and that's good enough for me.
Utah Jazz playing their last home game of the season. Do the Jazz really have the best fans in the NBA? Eldon, not compared to the Mammoth fans. Now, Eldon, you're trying to start something there, aren't you? See, they're not in the NBA. That wasn't the question. Eldon wants to mix it up.
Mammoth hockey fans remind me of soccer fans. They get a little separation because not everybody likes the sport. It's not as widespread, so they think it's cooler. It's just like all those return missionaries that I told you that come back from serving in a soccer-centric country. It gives them separation when they come back. Look at me. I'm a soccer guy, and you're not. I'm cooler. I understand the game, and you don't. That's what they're saying.
Brian is a time traveler. He's not worried about the NBA NHL thing. He says, in the 90s, yes. So the Jazz fans were really good when they were winning big, but since then,
I disagree.
Much.
I don't think anything's changed. The only thing that's changed is the record on the floor. And you check out day to day because it's not as important day to day, but they're still going to be into it. This fan base, from my perspective, they're as good as any fan base out there. They've got all that they need as far as a fan base. And you hear it from players who would know about atmospheres and being stopped on the street and all that type of stuff. Because they're living it, and they go around the league. So they have that broad-based experience I have a little maybe broader because I've lived in 4 states. A lot of people don't move to 4 different states. And I still believe I've got 1 or 2 more states to go. And you may ask, which states?
Which states?
I know
says, playing along.
I've been eyeing Greenland.
I thought you'd say Canada, honestly.
I don't want Canada.
Well, the 51st states. Yeah, I thought you were
We already
trying to
got
be topical.
Canada. What do I want them for?
You'd be topical. I don't know. You're not a cold weather guy, so I wouldn't think.
Then why'd you say you thought I would say Canada?
Because I thought you'd go for headlines and recent events, and I picked the wrong one. That's
Okay.
why.
All right. Now I know.
I think Kyle Korver is one of those players. He talked about when he came to Utah, there was more like a college atmosphere. There was energy every night.
Excellent point.
And he played for multiple teams, so he had
many.
a good measure of both going into arenas as a visitor and a home team and knowing how much their energy was and how much is the energy people screaming at you or how much are they screaming for the home team versus, heckling the road team.
Right. That's that. I provided the overview. You provided the specific example that I was looking for. Excellent work. So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, and that's an excellent example, an illustration of what I mean. And we hear that. We've heard that, and I believe we will continue to hear that. And this team next year, and it's an if, I'm not going there and saying, oh, absolutely, but if they're looking at, as we roll into mid-March, possibility of getting 50 wins, to me that's a benchmark. I don't see how any team that doesn't have 50 wins isn't a good team. They may get ravaged with injury like the Lakers right now, and we'll see what happens with them. But to get to 50 wins, you've got to be good. That's a benchmark for me in the NBA. And that hasn't changed forever because they haven't added or subtracted games and whatnot. So it's still that idea. And if we're this, and if hopefully that's the case, but when we start getting into mid-March and it's looking like they have an opportunity to get 50 wins, that would be impressive, man. Do you realize that would literally be a round numbers, a 30-win improvement?
Yes. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's way more likely than not.
Next year?
There's a bunch of stuff that could happen. We can't guarantee it, but I think it's way more likely than not. If you get to 50 wins, I think, to your point, your top quarter or top third of the league, this year it'll be it's going to be 9 50-win teams this year. Out of 30, so that's 30% of the league right there. So right in that range. Somewhere, give or take every year, it's the top quarter to top third of the league.
And you think it will or not can, what percentage, put a percentage on next season that you think that when we get to the final week, they'll either be playing for it or already have it?
70 was the first number that came to my mind.
Wow.
And then I started debating if it should be a little higher.
Higher?
But I'm going to go with 70. But I got to say, I did bounce around and start thinking, should I go 75? Should I go 80?
Ooh, 80?
There's too many injuries, and I think that there's a guy they need on their team that they're going to get that they don't have yet.
A.J. Devonta?
Well, that would certainly help. That'd be a positive. No, I've told you multiple times they need to add a veteran ball handler. They need 1 or 2 veterans on the perimeter, and they need someone who can handle
Russell
the ball.
Westbrook's coming home?
Who?
Russell Westbrook?
No. Coming home. I like that, though, because he was on the roster one summer for like 20 minutes or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's not there. They've got to do it, but I expect they're going to do it. I think I've talked to other, people in the media, have watched a lot of basketball, and, you're killing time or something at a game, and I'm like, what about next year? Well, I start talking about next year because this year is what it is. And that is either people bring it up or people agree pretty quickly when you bring it up. Like, I could see them adding that, So they're not here yet. You can't guarantee anything. But, man, if a bunch of us see it, I'm pretty sure Austin Ainge and Danny Ainge see it, Now, maybe you don't know what's going to happen in the draft here, and maybe they draft someone and they're like, hey, this player's going to be really good. We're just going to have to go through the growing pains. But that has surprised me a little bit. But I leave the door open for that, and maybe they come up short. And they've always got the injury bug always derails a team that you think could be a 50-win team. Minnesota could have been a 50-win team this year, but they're not going to be. They're not going to make it. They're going to get close, and then you can say, well, this guy sat out a few games, that guy. You can rationalize or ham and egg it, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And Minnesota's probably the one I would think this year. The next closest team in the West is Phoenix, and they're having a good year, and having a much better year than I expected or most people expected. But they're going to, I don't know. They've got 44 wins now, so they're going to finish at 45, 46 is the most they could do. They got 2 games left. So nobody else is really going to get there. I don't think I really expected anything else. Maybe, I don't know, there might be people expected 50 wins out of the Clippers, but you just never know how many games those guys are going to play. Especially Kawhi.
Well, man,
and they moved Harden. I mean,
40% for, or not 40, 70% for next season. I'd take it right now.
Yeah. Did you think I was too high, too low, or just right when you heard that number? How did it land?
To me, seems I would be more cautious. But when I make my predictions, I tend to be extremely conservative.
So would you go 50-50 or even 60-40? You think it's more likely than not?
I'd go more in the 60. Now, that has the opportunity to change as we get information leading into this player, this draft pick, whatever it might be. So that's subject to change. That's just right now with 3 or 4 unknowns.
Yes, there are definitely one unknown draft night, and then I am sitting here right now guessing that they're going to add 1 or 2 veterans to the perimeter, and we'll see how that plays out. But you're right, there's 3 unknowns right there.
Yeah.
2 players and a draft pick.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just sitting over here guessing because I don't know what they're going to do.
Anticipation.
Yeah. I always wondered at this time how much they know what they're going to do. Again, you have ideas,
they have ideas. I don't
anticipation.
think they can know.
There's conversation, but
you have to have
really
plans.
Right. All right, DJ and PK, we got to take a break. Oh, PK, big date this week. We got to talk about that and the Masters. We're going to Augusta to talk with Bob Casper. Top of the hour. Stay with us.